With just a few weeks to go until the start of the 142nd Open Championship, East Lothian played host to the 36-hole local final qualifying event. 288 players competed over 4 courses, which are close to this year's Open venue.
We have 4 courses in the locality of Muirfield, so that's Gullane number 1, where we are today, North Berwick, Dunbar and the Musselburgh Golf Club as well. The leading 3 players from each venue will qualify directly for the Open. The whole idea is that anybody can fulfil their dream to play in the Open if they perform well enough over these qualifying events.
The field included European Tour winners and Ryder Cup stars, among them Colin Montgomerie. 11 years after he shot a course record 64 at Muirfield, followed by a disastrous 84, the Scot was aiming for a return to golf's oldest major championship.
Delighted to be here and available to qualify for what you'd say is the Open, because very much open. You know, it's nice to see amateurs here and Euro Pro Tour players, Challenge Tour players. It's what the RNA wanted with the Open. It's a very open championship and open to all. I'd like to play again. I'm the course record holder there across the way at Muirfield, and I'd like to play there. I think links golf gives me my best opportunity, so I just look forward to trying to compete here. I know it's difficult, 72 guys, there's only 3 spots available, but someone's going to make it, and it might as well be me, so we'll see what happens.
Attracting large crowds throughout the day at Gullane, Montgomerie was leading at 5 under after 12 holes of his opening round. However, he struggled to sustain momentum, in the afternoon posting 76 to fall short of an Open spot this year. Mark James, the other former Ryder Cup captain in the field, also played Gullane number 1, but shot 72-76 to miss out on what would have been his 27th Open appearance. The famous Edinburgh skyline was barely visible across the Firth of Forth, but 2012 boys amateur champion Matthew Fitzpatrick was coping well with the wet weather. He shot 69 in his morning round to sit just 1 shot off the lead. Just down the coast from Gullane, conditions were similarly dour at North Berwick in the afternoon. James McCleary had led by 1 after a morning 66, but he'd eventually miss out by a single shot. Amateur Jimmy Mullen finished top at 6 under, while Gareth Wright and George Murray clinched the other 2 spots after a playoff, the latter shooting an excellent second round of 64. Great approach here at the 10th hole. At Musselburgh, Stephen Tiley dominated the rest of the field, handing in scores of 64 and 69 to win by 3 from Lloyd Saltman and Tyrrell Hatton. Down the road at Dunbar, the scores were similarly spectacular in the afternoon. Shiv Kapoor showed good touch around the greens, on his way to a superb 64, finishing alongside John Wade at 7 under to book his place at Muirfield. But even that wasn't good enough to top the 8 under par 132 total of local boy Grant Forrest, who qualifies for his first Open championship at the age of 20. Back at Gullane in the afternoon, the weather deteriorated, and so too had the scoring, with the majority of players shooting over par in their second rounds. Ben Stowe and Oscar Floren, playing together in the same group, were doing well to buck that trend. Floren hit a solid approach to the final green, 2-putting for par to get him home, and almost dry at 1 under. But he'd have to wait around to find out his fate. After a birdie on 17, Stowe sat 2 under coming down the last, and a steady up and down par from the 21-year-old Englishman gave him the clubhouse lead.
The amateurs in the field all played the Brabazon last week, and we played it in shocking conditions, worse than this, so I think we're all kind of a bit used to it, and I had my caddy on my bag today, so it made it a lot easier. It's a big deal, really. You know, when I was younger, watching the Opens, when I was, sitting on the couch when I was 6 years old, watching the guys play, I've got a lot of fond memories.
Having reached 4 under at one point in the afternoon, Matthew Fitzpatrick had this putt to try to secure a place at Muirfield, but like Floren, still had to endure a nervy wait. As the day drew to a close, Moore of Gullane Golf Club seemed to be the only player left out on the course who could force a playoff. But he suffered his troubles on the closing stretch and needed to hold this putt from off the green to stay in it. That miss handed the final 2 qualifying spaces to the relieved Florin and Fitzpatrick.
I think it's great. This morning I was just stood on the putting green talking to a few guys, and just thinking about it is that the fact that I had a chance to qualify for a golf major, well, especially at 18 as well, is just unbelievable.
Last year I lost in a playoff at Sunnydale, and the year before I believe I was 1 shot out of the playoff, maybe 2, I don't know. I had a terrible finish to both rounds, and I went away from there as quick as possible. But I've been close, and it feels great to be in it again.
12 more players now looking forward to a trip down the road to Muirfield for the 2013 Open Championship.